Imagine this. It's 7 a.m. The sunlight slips through your window blinds, and you drag yourself out of bed, still half asleep. You stand in front of the mirror, stretch, and for some reason, just for fun, you grab a measuring tape and check your height. Wait, what? That can't be right, you mutter. You're actually taller than you remembered last night. Maybe your old ruler is off, or maybe you just measured wrong yesterday. You shrug it off, brush your teeth, and get on with your day. But that tiny change you saw in the morning mirror? It wasn't your imagination. It's real. Yes, you actually are slightly taller in the morning than at night. Not by much, just a few millimeters, maybe even up to an inch if you're lucky. But it's enough for scientists to measure it, and enough to prove that your body doesn't stay exactly the same throughout the day. Have you ever wondered why this happens? Why you seem a little taller when you wake up and a little shorter when you go to bed? What if I told you that your body literally shrinks during the day, not because of magic, not because of some weird illusion, but because of something far more fascinating? Gravity and the incredible design of your spine. Every day, from the moment you get out of bed, you start losing height, slowly, invisibly, quietly. By the time you've stood, walked, and sat for hours, the constant pull of gravity has gently pressed down on your body, squeezing you ever so slightly shorter. And every night, while you sleep, your body recovers that lost height again, as if the universe gives you a soft reset while you rest. So next time you wake up and feel a little taller, remember, you're not dreaming. Your body really does rise with the sun. And today, we're going to uncover exactly why that happens, what it says about your body, and what it reveals about the amazing way nature keeps you balanced every single day. So, what's really happening here? Why do we literally wake up taller than we were the night before? The answer lies deep within your spine, the incredible structure that keeps you upright, balanced, and moving every single day. Your spine isn't one solid bone. It's made up of 33 separate bones called vertebrae, stacked one on top of another like a flexible tower. Between each of these bones are soft, cushion-like pads known as intervertebral discs. These discs are filled with a jelly-like fluid that acts like a shock absorber, protecting your bones from grinding against each other when you walk, run, or even just stand still. Now, here's where things get fascinating. When you lie down to sleep at night, your body is finally free from the constant pull of gravity. For those 7 or 8 hours of rest, there's no pressure pushing down on your spine. That means the fluid inside each disc has time to slowly reabsorb water and expand, almost like a sponge soaking up moisture. As those tiny discs plump up again, they gently push your vertebrae apart, making you just a little bit taller when you wake up. But the moment you get out of bed, gravity comes back into play. Every step you take, every time you sit, stand, or bend over, that invisible force starts pressing down on you again. Throughout the day, your spine gradually compresses, squeezing out some of that fluid from the discs. By nighttime, you've lost a few millimeters, maybe even up to an inch in total height. Think of it like this: your body in the morning is a fresh, hydrated sponge, soft, full, and springy. But by evening, after hours of activity and pressure, that same sponge has been gently squeezed. It's not damaged, just temporarily compacted. Once you lie down and rest, it slowly fills back up again, ready to face another day of gravity. It's a small change, yes, but it's an amazing reminder that your body is alive, dynamic, and constantly adapting. Every single day, your spine quietly works against the weight of the world, literally, and each night, it rebuilds itself again, millimeter by millimeter. So the next time someone says you look taller in the morning, you can smile and say, "That's because I am." Alright, let's make this a little more fun. You don't have to take my word for it, you can prove it yourself. All you need is a measuring tape, a wall, and a little curiosity. Ready? Let's do a simple experiment. Tomorrow morning, the moment you wake up, and I mean before you even have your coffee, stand straight against a wall and measure your height. Make sure you're barefoot, your heels touching the wall, and you're looking straight ahead. Take note of that number. You might even want to mark it lightly on the wall or jot it down on your phone. Then go about your day as usual. Walk, work, commute, sit in traffic, stand in line, binge watch Netflix. Live your normal, gravity-filled life. Now here comes the fun part. Right before you go to bed that same night, repeat the measurement. Stand in the same spot, in the same posture, and check again. Surprised? You're probably going to find yourself a little shorter than you were this morning, usually by about half an inch, sometimes even a full inch depending on your body and daily activity. It's not because you've lost weight or done something wrong, it's just your spine doing its thing. You might not feel it happening, but throughout the day, gravity has been pressing down on your body like an invisible, gentle hand. Every time you stand, walk, or even sit, your spine compresses just a bit more. The discs between your vertebrae lose a tiny bit of the fluid they absorbed overnight, and by bedtime, your body is slightly deflated. It's fascinating when you think about it. We spend our entire lives fighting gravity, and it quietly leaves its mark on us, literally making us shorter by the end of the day. Yet when we rest, our bodies rise again. So go ahead, try it out tomorrow. It's one of those weirdly satisfying moments when you realize just how alive your body really is. And once you see the difference with your own eyes, you'll never look at morning you and night you the same way again. Now, let's dig a little deeper into what's really happening inside your body, because this morning tallness isn't just a fun fact. It's a perfect example of how your body constantly adapts to its environment, every single second of the day. At the center of this phenomenon is one of the most remarkable structures in your body, your spine. Picture it. A flexible column made up of 33 vertebrae stacked neatly on top of each other. Between each vertebra lies a soft cushion called an intervertebral disc. These discs are small, but they're mighty. Each one is filled with a gel-like substance that allows your spine to bend, twist, and absorb shock. Without them, even simple actions like jumping or carrying a bag would send painful jolts through your bones. But these discs are also sensitive to pressure, especially the constant downward pull of gravity. When you're standing or sitting upright all day, gravity compresses these discs, squeezing out tiny amounts of the fluid inside. The longer you're vertical, the more those discs flatten just a little bit. It's not harmful, in fact, it's completely normal. By the end of the day, this natural compression can make you up to 1 or even 2 centimeters shorter than you were in the morning. Now here's where it gets fascinating. When you lie down at night, gravity takes a break. Your spine is finally able to rest without that constant downward force. During sleep, your body quietly gets to work. The discs begin to rehydrate, soaking up fluid from the surrounding tissues like thirsty little sponges. This reabsorption process gradually restores their shape, gently pushing your vertebrae apart again. By the time you wake up, your spine has literally stretched itself out. This same principle is what happens to astronauts in space, but to a much greater extent. In microgravity, there's no downward pressure at all, which means their spinal discs expand even more. As a result, astronauts can grow up to 3 to 5 centimeters taller while they're orbiting Earth. Of course, once they return to normal gravity, their spines compress again, and they shrink back to their usual height. It's an incredible reminder that gravity doesn't just keep us grounded, it constantly shapes us. Our bodies are in a delicate dance with the forces of nature, adjusting and readjusting, stretching and compressing, all without us ever noticing. So the next time you wake up and feel a little taller, you're literally feeling the result of a night-long restoration process, a quiet repair session that your body performs automatically. It's one of the coolest examples of how perfectly designed we are to adapt, recover, and stand tall, in every sense of the word. Now, let's take this strange little fact, that you're taller in the morning, and see how it quietly shows up in real life. You might think, okay, cool science trick, but who really cares if I'm half an inch taller before breakfast? Well, surprisingly, this small change actually matters more than you'd expect. Let's start with sports. Did you know that many professional athletes are measured early in the day? Basketball players, for instance, often record their official height in the morning when they're standing at their tallest. Why? Because that's when gravity hasn't yet had the chance to compress their spines. So the next time you see a player listed as 6 feet 7 inches, remember, that might be their morning version. By the end of a long game, after hours of running, jumping, and landing, they could be a little shorter, thanks to the constant pounding of gravity on their spine. Now think about medicine. Doctors and researchers know that this daily height fluctuation can affect accuracy in medical records. That's why height measurements in hospitals and clinics are usually taken at a consistent time, typically in the morning. Measuring at different times could lead to tiny differences that might sound minor, but in medicine, precision matters. Even a few millimeters can make a difference when calculating things like spinal alignment, body mass index, or fitting medical devices like prosthetics. Then there's the fashion and design world. Sounds odd, right? But posture and spinal compression actually influence how clothes fit and how we move. Shoe designers, for example, pay attention to how body weight and compression affect foot size throughout the day. That's why experts often recommend trying on shoes in the evening, when your body is at its shortest, and your feet have slightly expanded from daily pressure. So even your shoe comfort is linked to this subtle shrinking and stretching phenomenon. And what about everyday posture? Slouching for hours at a desk, carrying a heavy backpack, or even poor sleeping positions can affect how your spine decompresses. Standing tall in the morning isn't just about height, it's a reflection of how rested and aligned your body feels. The better your posture and movement throughout the day, the less your spine compresses, meaning you stay a little taller, a little lighter, and a lot more confident. So yes, this isn't just random trivia. It's a reminder that even the smallest details of how we live, move, and rest are all connected. Our height changes may be microscopic, but they show just how beautifully dynamic and responsive our bodies truly are. You see, this strange little fact about being taller in the morning isn't just a quirky piece of science trivia, it's also a mirror reflecting how life itself works. Every morning, after a night of rest, our bodies stand a little taller. We wake up refreshed, recharged, and ready to face the world. But as the day goes on, life presses down on us, gravity on our bodies, stress on our minds, responsibility on our shoulders. By nightfall, we're not only physically shorter, but maybe a little emotionally compressed too. And that's okay. Because just like our spines, we are built to recover. Every night, when we sleep, our bodies and minds expand again. The pressure lifts. The fluid returns. Our cells heal. Our energy refills. We literally grow back what the day has taken away. That's not just biology, that's a beautiful metaphor for resilience. Think about it. Every challenge that weighs you down is temporary. The exhaustion you feel at the end of a hard day isn't a permanent loss. It's just gravity doing its job. What matters is that you give yourself time to rest, to breathe, to let your discs, physical or emotional, fill back up again. Maybe standing tall isn't only about posture. Maybe it's about presence, about how you show up in the world, even when life is heavy. Just as your spine straightens after rest, your spirit rises when you take time to recover, reflect, and recharge. So the next time you wake up and stretch in the morning, remember this. You are literally and metaphorically at your tallest. You've regained what the world took from you yesterday. And no matter how much gravity, or life, tries to pull you down, you always have the power to rise again. It's incredible, isn't it? A simple, invisible change in your body, just a few millimeters, carries a message far deeper than science alone can explain. We are not static beings. We bend, we shrink, we recover, and we grow. That's not weakness. That's what being alive truly means. So, the next time you catch your reflection in the mirror in the early morning light, remember, you're literally standing at your tallest. It's not your imagination, it's your body showing off its quiet, miraculous design. Throughout the day, as gravity gently presses down and life demands your energy, you shrink, not just in height, but sometimes in spirit, too. But when you rest, when you allow yourself to pause, your body and mind rebuild. You rise again. Isn't that incredible? A few millimeters may not sound like much, but they tell a bigger story, one about adaptation, balance, and resilience. Our bodies are in constant conversation with the world around us, adjusting, recovering, and growing in ways we don't even notice. Every sunrise gives you a little more height, and a brand new chance to stand tall in every sense of the word. So here's a fun question for you. How tall are you right now? Are you the bright, early morning version of yourself, refreshed and full of potential, or the nighttime version, a little compressed but full of stories from the day? Either way, both versions are perfectly human. And if this little fact about your spine amazed you, just wait until you hear what your body does next. In our next episode, we'll explore another strange but wonderful secret your body hides. Why your stomach actually replaces its entire lining every few days. Yep, you're constantly renewing yourself, inside and out. So don't forget, every morning, you're not just waking up taller, you're waking up stronger, newer, and more alive than the night before. Stand tall, breathe deep, and keep growing, in height, in heart, and in life.